gets laid. Dawn's in the building, his swag so tight. Check your feelings, he's exposing all the lies. Every Thursday at 8, his voice takes the stage. The man's got soul like a record with age.
It's Thursday night. Man, I've been waiting so long to get in here. Shout out to Podcast Doctor. Hey.
Yo.
They told me not to scream, so I'm not going to scream. And I'm going to get this out real quick. The views and opinions expressed on this show, not necessarily those of the Podcast Doctor Enterprises, but this is my opinion, and it's the Don Miller Show. If you don't like it, it's a whole bunch of other stuff you can watch, but I want you to watch me tonight. Tag everybody, tell your friends, subscribe and like. Phil, we had 1 million and almost 500,000 on that damn
Get
clip.
out of here.
Yeah, we out here in these streets.
All right.
Thank you so much, everybody. Feel free to follow us on all platforms, The Don Miller Show, across the board. I got a great conversation, and to have this conversation, I was talking to Quetta Jean Johnson from the Johnson family of ridiculous behavior today. I said, I got to have a lady on the show who done fought against ridiculousness her entire life as a woman.
Come on.
Join me on the show. You've seen her before on this show. Frankie.
Hey, y'all. I'm so glad to be back. I'm
Yeah,
so glad to be
Frankie
back
right
for the
there.
ridiculousness, okay?
Oh, man. Don Miller, the ignorance killer. Shout out to my boy, Type Mike. I talked to him today, Phil.
Tight Mike.
How's
He's
he
got a
doing?
very big anniversary, 25 years in comedy coming up. And I'm going to take my ass out there. I'm going to go see Type Mike.
Where's he at?
Wait, when is that?
We're going to announce it in the next few weeks where it's going to be. I'm going to be there. I want everybody to show up and see my
Yeah.
brother.
Yes.
My brother who was, man, he was there with me in the beginning. Shout out to Type Mike.
Send my love.
I
Hi,
love
Type
Ty
Mike.
Mike, man. We love Mikey.
Yes.
Also, big news. That damn Tesla and Figaro announced on TV on the Breakfast Club the other day that she bringing her ass back to Orlando.
Oh.
She will be attending Florida Agriculture and Mechanical Law School. That's going to be funny. So she's going to sit her ass in here with us at least a few times. So we're going to be very aggressive toward the aggressive black woman. I push back on aggressive black women, yes. I want to get to a conversation that is trending at every level. It's a guy by the name of Shannon Sharpe, who is a former NFL player, Hall of Famer, one of the best at his position. You've seen him on, of course, ESPN, and then he went to Fox Sports Network. And, of course, now he's got the Shannon Sharpe Show on YouTube, and Cat Williams made him famous, let's be clear.
Let me tell you.
Cat Williams made him famous.
That was a
Phil,
good
turn that
episode,
up a
though.
little bit. I want to hear. So, Cat Williams made him famous.
Yeah. You want?
But I always saw Shannon Sharpe as a guy. He was game goofy. You know what I mean? Game goofy is
Yes.
somebody who ain't got no game, but likes to
Really?
present themselves as somebody with game. So Shannon Sharpe just got hemmed up with a 19-year-old lady, OnlyFans model, by the name of Gabby. And somehow it became a lawsuit, and we found out later that Shannon has been in a relationship, well, kind of had sex more than 100 times is what the paperwork is stating.
Really?
With this young 19-year-old OnlyFans model. And listen, they had BDSM sex about 100 times, and that's what she said. Shannon has not denied this.
No.
But
He's actually released it.
Shannon made a statement, and let's watch his statement.
All right. Here we go.
To my family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million. What they're getting
Stop it. So Gabby and Tony Busby,
Yep.
you know how he really put in there that Tony Busby targets black men. Tony Busby has actually sued several black men of high profile.
Yeah.
He represented the people in the Travis Scott incident in Houston,
Really?
where a bunch of people died at a concert.
Oh, Astro World, right?
Astro World.
Yep.
He also settled with 21 women against Deshaun Watson, who is a football player. And so he's had many of these type of cases. Jay-Z and, of course, Sean Combs. There was an incident in the last few years. I don't know if this is targeting black men or a guy just getting good cases that he thinks
That's
he can
what I'm
win.
thinking. They coming at him.
But my point is this. I don't want this to go in the books as a target toward a black man. You a grown-ass 56-year-old man who was having BDSM sex on the record
On the record.
with
It
a
is.
19-year-old. The problem that I see here, he calls it a shakedown. Many people are saying he was set up. That you can't look, as a guy who dated younger women for years, okay, before I was married, not 19, definitely in the 20s, okay? When you engage in that type of scenario, you have to understand what comes from it. And I'm getting ready to put a racial curveball in this.
Okay.
This
let
is
me
a
hit us.
19-year-old white woman. To me, this is consensual.
It is. That's my
And
point
she's
about
an
it.
adult,
She's an adult.
okay? But she's 19. Let's
She
be
is
clear,
young.
okay?
The wisdom of a 19-year-old.
Yes. So for Shannon, a 56-year-old, very successful guy with a gang of money, bunch of money.
I mean, a lot of people keep telling him that. The same thing you're about to say.
Okay. So dude, for real, stand down on the race card.
Yeah. The
You
race
went-
car, stand down on that.
He went over there. He went over there, Phil.
I mean, you know how I feel.
How do you say Tony Busby is targeting black men, and you took your black ass over there?
You know what?
Stay with me, guys. I know they
I'm
like
with
Don
you.
Miller. Here you go, attacking black. No, this is a rich ass black
No.
guy. This Negro got a bunch of money. Now, for the record, I am not the first person to feel this way.
No.
Monique,
Black women-
well-known comedian, she went on this show, and this is what Monique said to him.
All right, here we go.
Dating. What advice is somebody if a group of women were in here and they're like, come on, they talk to us. How this dating thing? Because this is Mo is different now than when you and I.
It's different, baby. I'm grateful I'm not 56 and trying.
Are you trying to say? What you trying to say? Mo?
I'm
You
looking right at you.
I know
I'm
you looking at your.
I ain't backing down. You better take your old ass and get somebody to love you.
Damn, Mo.
Now I'm looking right at
Let
y'all.
me
Let me
live my
tell y'all
life.
what Shannon needs.
Let me live my
Let
life.
me tell you what my baby needs. He need him an old fat gal who can bake good cakes, make some smothered turkey wings, who gonna rub his feet at the nighttime, okay, and gonna have a sip of his cognac to make him feel better about himself when he come home at night. That's
Monique
what Shannon
talked to a lot
needs.
of
You don't need no 26-year-old girl. You don't need no 36-year-old girl.
I do.
This is your auntie talking to you. Take your old ass and get you an old bitch out there that can love you old. You're trying to hang
Hey,
out with these
stay
young
away.
bitches,
Huh?
and you can't do it, Shannon. You just can't do it.
Thank you so much, Monique. Monique tried to warn him. Because people in the industry know this guy is in that space, consistently in that space,
Yeah.
right? A few years ago, there was an audio tape dropped of Shannon Sharpe allegedly having sex with a woman. And this audio came out right after he was accused.
A lot of people feel like he released it now.
First of all, you ever go live on Instagram? You got to press that thing.
You do. You
three
got,
times.
You got to get to the button.
Boop, 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 right? Shannon, come on. So this audio comes out of Shannon allegedly having sex
Clapping cheeks.
After allegations.
after
of-
allegations of him being homosexual. So this all comes out.
Michelle.
He drops this, and everybody's like, okay. He's like, and he constantly promotes. What does he promote on his show a lot?
Blue Chew.
Some kind of sexual enhancement pill, right? So then after the audio comes out, and those of us who are in the industry know that you got to press a few buttons to go live.
You do.
So I don't know what he was trying to prove, but this little white girl heard this, and she felt some kind of way, right? So they're engaging in BDSM. Tied up.
So your prediction is that she heard that.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Okay.
hearing from the streets.
Okay.
That she heard that. But somebody said, well, what is BDSM, right?
Break us down.
BDSM is bondage, discipline, and sadomasochism, right? This is when they into tying up and gag balls. You know, I'm a black man. You can't put no handcuffs on me. Right? I ain't doing that, right? I know the ramifications of handcuffs.
I ain't in there either.
So the point I'm saying is, Mr. Sharpe, you a grown-ass man, guys. So when this all comes out, allegedly he was in the midst of, he offered her $10 million. Now there are people saying, well, if you didn't do it, why you offer $10 million?
Definitely.
So my concern is, and I just want to say this for the record, there are a whole lot of women of age, and she was legal, but I'm saying of age, that would have done all the freaking things you want to do. And he didn't even have any contractual relation. Get her to sign something, sir. I get it. She's a grown woman. But to me, 19...
You know what? I find myself in environments sometimes where I'm around people my age, but then I find that there's younger women there.
Yeah.
And so I'm around men who are my age, and I'm talking about late 30s, early 40s, but then there's young women there. I ask myself to ask them, like, why are you here in this environment, right? But then I realize they're a grown woman, and it's not my place to come up there and ruin their time asking them why they outside.
Right.
So I have to respect that you're a grown woman who chooses to be in that environment with that man. So she was a grown woman who chose to be in the environment with that older man.
But again, right? I get that. She's grown. They say they had BDSM sex 100 times.
Yeah, she was saying, you seen the text messages?
Yes. Again, Phil, the text messages, like, somebody released the text message.
He did, his lawyer.
His lawyer released
to
the text
defend
message.
himself.
The text message is telling, Daddy, I want you to abuse me.
Yeah. Yeah.
A white woman, a 50-year-old white woman texts me that, I'm going to act like I don't know her. Like, no.
Some people really like that.
No, I get it.
People
I
really
get
like
it.
that.
I'm telling you right now, tell me that when I see you. Don't text me that. The problem is, who are these guys, Phil, that continually find themselves in these ridiculous ass scenarios?
Bro, you know how I feel, Don. I'm gonna
What
say
does
it.
it feel?
I'm gonna say it, Don.
I want to hear it.
Niggas gon' nig, man. Niggas gon' nig.
But that ain't a niggas gon' nig thing. That's a migs on migs.
But
Migs gon' migs.
So Sharpe was in the midst of negotiating $100 million, Phil. You got that? Mm-hmm. So he's in the middle of a $100 million contract. You got the screenshot to take his show.
Wait, nope, sorry, wrong one.
To take his show.
What the hell? Where'd it go? Hold on.
To take his show to the next level, right?
I heard about
$100 million contract, and you get caught up in something like this.
$50 million.
He offered her 10, and she wants 50. And this all came about in the midst of this contract negotiation for the $100 million. My concern is it a money grab? Quite frankly, maybe so. I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah.
But you, PTL, homie, pay the lady. You got to take the L. Amazing how many of these athletes won't take the L, man. Dude, Sharpe eyes a $100 million podcast deal as his contract is currently expiring, right? So the media gets this. It goes all over. Her lawyer, Tony Busby, you say, coming after Black men or whatever.
Says, why would you take
Why would you take $10 million
when you can have more?
When you can have more. And that's good lawyering to me. My problem is
good work
with Shannon Sharpe and many of these gentlemen. What are you doing, guys?
Why are we here?
Why are we even here?
You know, I say that all the time.
There's so many women, man, dude. Monique told you, man. Just come on, guys.
We shouldn't even be here. The scenario wouldn't even exist if if it didn't happen.
Again, but when I'm listening to him, and whoever's telling this guy, yeah, you got to go tell your story. Say release the whole tape. Now, what I'm understanding, if the whole tape is released, there's some words that she uttered on the tape.
But it's innocent until proven guilty. I just want to make sure I say that out there for him.
Yeah, but he's already come out and said release the whole tape.
He's just trying
What is on the tape that's going to make people say you didn't have sex with a 19-year-old?
She said that one little part where I listened to the little clip, and she says that one little part where she says something, and then he says back, "Girl, I'll come choke you." Like he says that, and he's relating that comment to the BDSM, right?
Yeah.
And then he's also saying that it was more so, one of those statements you just casually make. I'll come choke you or whatever. And that's the only piece she played.
I don't see that as a problem.
And there's more there.
There's a video that is in question here that I don't know how the hell you make a video, Shannon Sharpe, and you don't own the video. I don't know how she got the video, Phil. I'm taking the video
But
with
if it's
me.
on her phone, and if she
Then
took the
guess
camera,
what?
like
Shannon
she ain't gonna have no copy.
Shannon Sharpe was a Pro Bowler, Hall of Famer, NFL champion twice.
Y'all gotta
you what he ain't.
Y'all gotta stay.
Tell you what he ain't.
Y'all gotta
He
stay
ain't
tight
sharp.
out there. Y'all gotta stay tight out there.
He ain't
My
sharp.
people, y'all
Shannon
people,
may be a lot of things, but he ain't sharp.
people out there with
Shannon
exposure.
should be down at the courthouse changing his name to Shannon Washington because he ain't sharp. Phil,
Dude.
this dude ain't sharp, y'all. He might be a lot of things, man.
That's not a sharp move.
How she get the tape?
I think he would agree with that right now, for real.
How she get the tape, man?
She made the tape.
They've been in talks for months, right? You get to a number of 10 million, somehow it goes south. He runs to a microphone. Now again, he's got a really good lawyer, okay? Lanny Davis is a pretty good lawyer, right? But the fact of the matter is, how do we get here? And we keep getting here, Frankie.
We do. With a lot of people, though.
Come on.
One after another. Keep on getting exposed with allegations like this.
With that kind of money, guys, look, I spent more than 20 years of my life dealing with athletes. And I can tell you, and people can take this the way they want to take it, these guys need men in their lives. Every man needs a man, okay?
Come on, Don.
And for no other reason, just to say, hey, dude, homie, let me holler at you for a minute. Don't do that. So when you got women like Monique saying, stop, dude, and then Cat Williams.
I was going to say Cat, too.
What did Cat Williams say? Let's watch this.
All right, here we go.
Didn't want to get with a white woman because I was scared she might have me running down the street like Jonathan
There
Majors.
you go. See, come on, Cat.
Not because I didn't like white women. I think white women are as great as any other women. But I'm not going to act like I'm not scared of them. I have a reason to be scared. You could be Kang the Conqueror, and they could take your rabbit ass down in 2 weekends. And that's the truth of the matter. So stay away.
Something done.
That's real. You hear me?
Come on.
Especially, these guys are they don't get it, man. And this guy, and the problem is when situations like this come about, everybody who's wanted to come out, they're going to come out now because they feel like they have coverage. So I expect in the next few days to see more people, Phil. And watch this. Fox Sports came out today with a statement. Did you see that, Phil?
I watched that, too.
Let's see that, Phil. Fox says Shannon Sharpe settled a physical incident with a female PA while he was at Fox Sports. Wow. And it's called, he choked from what I understand, right, Phil?
Yep.
He choked a female. So I don't know if this guy got some kind of kink or he's got some other issues. But when you on the cusp of winning, and I used to tell these guys I worked with for years.
You about to say a lot now.
When you on the cusp of winning, you got to focus on winning. And there's some things, look, everybody knows my relationship. I'm not a racist. I don't have a problem with white people at all. Quite frankly, everybody, I'm on a network that has my audience. That's my audience, right? But stupidity trumps any race.
Any race.
Ignorance is curable. Stupidity is forever.
Put it on the shirt.
Come on now.
Ignorance is curable. Stupidity is forever. This is stupid. Shannon Sharpe,
be here.
What are you doing? You have children. This young lady is younger than your youngest child.
Oh, my God.
You tell the story, Mr. Sharpe, of coming from nothing, living in a house with an outhouse. You and your brother, who's an amazing guy.
Hall of Famers, both of them.
2 Hall of Famers out of a shotgun house with an outhouse out back.
Has such a great backstory.
There's no, how do you get here, man? I don't feel sorry for him. In the conversation about her setting him up, go on with that bullshit. You can't get set up like that.
Yeah.
You knew when you started this process, that there are things called NDAs, non-disclosure. You got to get something signed. Put her on salary. Put her on retainer. PTL, pay the lady. Right? The problem with some of these fools, and I'm calling him a fool, this is what happens when you start feeling yourself.
Come on.
This is what happens, Mr. Sharpe. I've seen it too many times. Remember Kobe?
The rise.
Remember Kobe?
Ooh.
In the hotel?
Yep.
This is what happens. I've spent a lot of time in the sports industry. This is what happens when you start reading your clippings and you start to believe that you're different than the rest of us. No, sir, you're not. You just got more money.
Gotta stay humble out here.
You gotta have common sense. But of course we know common sense is not common. But this guy put himself in a jam, and if he loses it all, so be it. But you're not gonna get me. This is a guy who went after Deshaun Watson.
Ooh.
And said disparaging things about Deshaun Watson when Deshaun Watson got jammed up. Shannon Sharpe said it. These guys make these decisions. This is a decision to take your clothes off and tie somebody up and gag ball or whatever they do over there.
I say this all the time.
Huh?
I'm agreeing with
There
you.
are too many steps to put chains and shackles and gag balls for you to not come to one point and say, oh, hell no, what am I doing?
Safe word is banana.
Huh?
Come on.
Safe word's banana.
Say word, whatever. But
I say
there-
people
there are
always
too
have a
many
choice.
steps.
There is a choice.
There are too many steps to say, oh, damn, no. Okay? For you to, there are 5 steps. Look, okay, take your clothes off.
Gotta
All
meet
right,
up.
bam.
Gotta call. Gotta send a text message. You ain't straight to clothes, but just so many more.
Gotta get the handcuffs out. You got to get the ropes out. Got to tighten the ropes and set the ropes. And at what point do you say, oh, this could go
This
south?
too much. This too much.
Phil, at what point, dude? I'm going to tell a story, right? Got a great friend of mine. I think I told this story on the show before, one of my shows. That I had a buddy, great guy, an attorney, doing very well, meets this young lady. And he's black. She's white. Wonderful young lady. I met her. And he really likes her. They go out for 6 months, maybe 7 months. And he liked her so much, he wanted to take his time. So they didn't rush to sex. Finally, 7 months later, they decide to make love, right? He's into her. He really he's like, Don, I think I could marry her. And I'm like, that's great. She's a really nice girl. And they're having sex. And the sex is good, and he said he's enjoying it. And all of a sudden, she says, give me that N-word
Really?
penis. And he said he stopped.
What?
And he
I
was
was
like,
ready for the story.
whoa.
I know
And she repeats it. And he says he stopped and he couldn't go any further. And he just like, I don't.
Hey,
Okay?
Wait.
You want me to dry up?
Huh?
Hard R or
Hard
or
R.
A?
Hard R. Oh,
No, he had to come out of there.
Right?
It just
Give me that N-word penis. Give it to me.
Man.
Give it to me, you big black.
Oh my.
And he was like, whoa.
no.
So
Baby.
he was like, Don, was I wrong for shutting it down? So I took it to the committee, the guys I hang out with, because he's like, man, throw
What the
this out
committee
on
say?
throw this out on the show.
What the committee say?
He said, Don, please throw this out on the show. So my first person says to me, was he in the fetish world? I said, no, he's not. He's a kind of goofball guy. He's a nice guy, right? Nerdy guy. So he wasn't in the fetish world. A couple of guys, but overwhelmingly, which to my shock, 5 of the guys out of the 6 I mentioned this to said they would have continued having sex with her.
They would have got there.
Really?
And they want, what would you have done? I'd have got up too.
Let me, and I want to say something right there. And for that reason, and I don't speak for all black women. I got to put that out there. Disclaimer, right? But that's why black women, we just gotta be intrigued a little bit and mind our business on this situation because of statements like that. If 5 black men are gonna say it's cool, but we out here defending. And,
But he said, Frankie, he said when he stopped and got out of the bed with her, and She said, first thing she hollered out was, "I'm not a racist."
That's exactly.
I'm not a racist.
We want to let you know that is exactly what people
I
who
don't-
have racist tendencies say. That's what they say.
And they had been drinking. He told me they had been drinking wine and having a good time all evening.
Baby,
Went
I'll
out, had
buckle.
some martinis.
I would buckle.
But my grandma say, a drunk person speak a sober person mind.
That's what they say. That's the truth, though.
I feel.
Yeah. Well, what? Okay, so we got comments. I haven't
Hey,
put
let's
in the
play some
screen
comments.
yet.
Let's look at these comments.
But
Can you put them up?
Yeah.
Let's go look at them.
pump and dump. So if you don't really like the girl, does it really matter? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it really matters.
Okay. Well, that's what. Okay. Here
That
we go.
matters to me.
Don,
Who
I
was
know it
your
matters
guest?
to you.
I got here late. This is Frankie Italia.
Hello, you guys. It's Frankie Italia.
LMAOPTL.
PTL.
Pay the lady. Go ahead.
Yep.
Pay the lady.
Oh, there we go.
Thinking with the wrong head. Absolutely, PJ. 100%. You
Don,
know,
you're of another
he needs
caliber.
to keep
So
his thing
Eggplant.
to himself. Show some damn restraint. It ain't about restraint. Thank you so much, Phil. It's not as much as about restraint. I think we have men rules, right? And I don't like to give men rules out, but sometimes I have to drop a couple of nuggets on the show from time to time. First man rule, and I learned this before I even understood anything about relationships. I was young and I was in the barbershop, Mr. Wanzo's barbershop. I was going there, my mama would take me up there on a Saturday about 8:30 in the morning, and she'd leave me there and go to the laundromat, come back, give me about 2. So I'm sitting there with all these old heads, man. The knowledge of the old head is the greatest knowledge you can receive, right? First thing I learned was, don't shit where you eat.
come on. Okay.
Bill? Mm-hmm. And I didn't know what that was. I waited till I was a little older to get a better, but I heard that early. Don't shit where you eat.
Never do that.
Huh?
Never.
And so the list of things that these young guys, this is an old ass dude, that they have totally detached themselves from what I know they learned. He grew up in rural Georgia, okay? I knew he heard,
I feel like you're going where I'm going.
they
in my
dropped the
mind.
nuggets on him before they dropped the nuggets on. If you lived in the inner city, you got to talk. We call it the talk, right?
Okay.
Okay? Be respectful.
I
Do
want to
as you
say something, but
told.
you said it all.
Huh? Phil,
wanna-
right?
Yep.
Be respectful. Do what you told. And back then, in that era, my era, we were told to stay away from white women. Absolutely.
Okay.
Stay away from the white girls, because them white girls will hem you up. Now, as I grew older and understood better, I understood during that era what that meant. But as a grown-ass man, I still subscribe strongly to all of the rules that I learned in the barbershop.
I just want to go on record that y'all understand that he's saying that this ain't about restraint. This is about rules within self. Man, come on, Don.
You are a millionaire, multimillionaire. You are having sex with a 19-year-old white woman that's on OnlyFans.
Rules within self.
First of all, I promise you I don't know this lady. She might be a really sweet young girl, and I'm going to say young
Definitely.
girl.
Yeah.
Okay?
She's 20 now, by the way.
She's 20, young girl. For her to come over to your place or wherever y'all met, and for her to want you and be okay with you tying her up, she's coming from some brokenness right there.
I really when I say.
There's something wrong.
Yeah.
There's something wrong. First time I got asked to tie somebody up, I might have been 32, and I left. She was 32. I'm like, you want me to do what? No, I ain't tying you up.
I can't.
She had handcuffs. No, I don't do no handcuffs, right? The problem is that's a lifestyle. And if you're 19 and you already over there,
That's what I be saying.
that's a problem, Phil. If she's 19 and she want this gigantic black guy,
Something else is happening.
there's some
something else going on.
psychological issues.
There's something going on.
And he should have saw it first, unless he's the sick one.
No, because the only thing, and I can't just, like I
Phil?
say again, I can't speak for myself, but at that age, I just wasn't thinking about a man that
Tying
age.
you up.
But a man that age.
At
I was
56,
thinking
right.
about,
Not at 19.
I was thinking about my,
Right.
age
Right.
group. I just wasn't. But
But-
it's not about me. It's
But
people
we
like
live in
what
a
they
time
like.
of age gap dating. I think 56,
We do.
19
We do.
is not age gap dating.
56, 19.
That's not age gap dating.
That is
56,
What is it?
36,
What he finna give it something better.
56, 36. That's a
What does he call
56, 19 is kind of right on the cusp
Of what?
Of pedophilia.
See, I told you.
Right on the cusp. Huh? 2 years ago, she went on prom. 2 years ago, she went on prom, Phil.
Damn.
Huh?
I knew you was gonna
2
go that
years
way.
ago, she was sitting in
This
Miss
is not
Johnson
funny.
class.
This is serious.
Huh? English class. 2 years ago.
Bro, and she mid too.
And she's very small.
Like she mid. She not even like hot.
Yeah, but
But
again, though.
that's not the criteria no more for
No more
anybody.
for anybody,
For
right.
anybody. You
Hotness
see,
went away a long time
it's-
ago.
Well, the people that came out with their different exposed allegations, the people, you be like, oh.
Man, Shannon Sharpe ain't well. I'm gonna be the first one to say this on this damn show right now. He ain't well.
Maybe somewhere.
He ain't well. He's not well. And y'all, I know y'all love to watch him. I enjoy the dude's show. I
yeah.
like watching the dude. He's a smart guy
Somewhere
on the
though.
TV.
But we all got problems. We
He-
all got to work on them though.
He's sharp at the office, but he ain't sharp at the house. Okay? I'm telling you what I'm telling you what I'm seeing. To put it all on the line. I ain't got a tenth of what he got.
You're right. That is a lot to put on the line. That's
For
a lot to
what?
lose. You know,
For
people
what?
walk around saying, I ain't got nothing to lose, or
Listen,
I got a lot to
listen me.
lose.
You know how many women, and this was, I guess he lives in Vegas or LA. You know how many tricks in Vegas and LA that are into all kind of kinks. They have whole kink. They have a kink. You can go to
It's
Vegas.
right here amongst
you can go to
us.
Vegas and go to the Green
You
Door.
can go down the street.
You can go to Green Door. You can go to, look, they have
The Bunny
places.
Ranch.
Huh?
The Bunny Ranch.
Listen to me. They have places where you can have any kink you want fulfilled. And you see guys who work at the plant who spend their check on a kink.
They do. They do.
But
I appreciate the honesty of those people, though.
Yes.
I like it. I
Yes.
like that they're honest
That's
and they
what
do
they
their
want.
thing and they do their thing. And it's an honest world instead of hiding behind it. Like, I really could respect somebody who do their thing and they say, this is my thing. So you ain't got to be surprised. The people who
Listen.
are here with that, keeping it on the low and then you get surprised, because we surprised by these text messages. Are we
But
not?
Shannon Sharpe, gone with the shakedown nonsense. Gone with the fact that Busby, who may have an issue or two, ain't nobody shaking you down. You offered $10 million. If this was a shakedown, you should have went to the authorities.
You feel like this is a repercussions of actions.
If this was an actual shakedown, I'm going to the authorities.
I have a question. Why is he not in jail then if she accused him of rape?
Because this is not a criminal case.
Right,
This is a civil case. So
Right.
it's not
'Cause
gonna
guess
go
what?
there.
In a
She's going
criminal
after the
case,
money.
in a criminal case, they'll tell both of them to get the hell out the courthouse.
Exactly.
You two freaks. Okay? That's what they'll say.
And that's why they
Okay?
can't take it there.
Both of them freaks. He's a freak, she's a freak.
Yeah,
Okay?
'cause-
But the fact is, as a grown-ass man, a successful businessman who is successful, this guy's going to make more money in this platform than he ever made tackling or catching passes. I promise you.
I was thinking that. I was just
Okay?
saying that earlier.
How do you find it okay? And I don't know. I don't know the kink world. I had some friends that were in the kink world. I don't know the kink world. I broke up with a girl one time. I'm transparent on the Don Miller Show, right? I broke up with a girl. I was 20, maybe 28, 27. And she wanted to do something I was uncomfortable with at that point in my life. No, I don't do that. And she kept wanting to do it, and I was like, I don't do that. And I broke up, and I really liked this girl. But I wasn't into that.
But she wasn't going to be fulfilled anyway, so it was good that y'all.
You follow me?
Yeah, it was good.
But I
y'all
wasn't
cut.
into it, right? And I think as a man, sometimes we have to understand that under certain influences, we can lose everything.
You hear me? They can come
Just
after
the
it.
fact that I'm a black or white woman. I'm standing at the foot of the bed looking at a woman tied up. I don't care what her race is. I'm going to be like, oh hell no.
You're going to feel like it just don't
No.
look good. It don't feel good.
Prison going to flash before my eyes, and I'm not going to be interested in sexual activity. Any moment, somebody kicked the door in and she's tied up.
What he was supposed to do
You're
was
the
find
suspect.
he was supposed to do was find somebody, around his
What's the safe
age.
word? What's the safe word, Phil?
Bananas.
Bananas.
And he have somebody that's his age, and then they get
Right.
that king together in privacy.
Right.
And then privacy.
Because this would not be getting the coverage. Okay?
if she
Hey,
was
Glenn
of
Grady, what did Glenn say?
He said, got a kink when in Vegas? Holla at me.
Okay,
I'm-
Glenn Grady is one of my closest friends. He's in Vegas.
Glenn.
He knows for a fact, right, that Vegas has a giant kink scene.
Criteria
Helen
went
says
out.
Criteria went out the door a long time ago.
Come on, Helen.
But the thing is this, guys. For those people running to support this guy and saying he was set up by the white woman, you're all idiots. This has nothing to do with race at all. This is not about race.
I don't.
This
think so
guy
either.
sought out a victim. Listen, now, she was willing. She was of age.
Consensual.
But that don't tell you she's not a victim. I guarantee you she's got some serious psychological issues. At 19 years old, and
Doing
you're in the
things like that.
BDSM, you got some problems. I didn't know what that was at 19.
And that's also how you can.
You ever been tied up?
Nope.
Okay. Phil, you been tied up?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
Right.
Nope. I wouldn't want to do it. I
don't see how it's sexy.
I don't see how it's sexy either.
But you don't think, like, since she's 19, the younger kids do all
They
these
into so many different
crazy
things.
things.
But let them do that with younger kids. That's fine. If the 19-year-old guy tying your ass up, that's y'all business. Y'all do that at that level. But a 50-some-year-old grown-ass man with grown-ass kids.
Maybe his mind is just maybe Shannon's mind was just open to another. People are in a higher age group.
Or
CTE.
They ain't into it as much.
Or
They
watch
ain't
this.
as open.
Or he come from rural Georgia. He lived in a shack, had an outhouse.
What you saying?
Maybe he's got the Django syndrome. I'm telling you right now. Maybe he's mad at white people. Listen to me. I know a guy very well.
Not you trying to spin this.
I know a guy very well, and I see him a lot, that don't like white women
But
unless they naked.
really,
I'm telling you right now.
does he get a power thing from that?
It's sick.
Did he tell you that?
It's sick. It's really sick.
Wow.
He
Okay.
is racist, and he talks a whole bunch of ridiculous ass stuff about white people.
But
One night we sitting out smoking a cigar. I'll never forget this.
He getting
and
his
he's sitting over there, and
reparations.
he's like, "Yeah, man, blah blah
He getting
blah."
his reparations.
We go inside, come back out. He got a white woman sitting on his lap kissing her.
I'm done.
We was like, and I thought you ain't like white women. Hey man, don't do that right now.
You know what's my thought? Sometimes I see women with black men, and sometimes your presence is, you have to realize sometimes they're there just because that person hated a black woman in his life.
But if you don't stand for something, you're gonna fall for anything. And I'm watching this, and I'm finding this utterly sick. And I know there are people saying, "Well, Don Miller, you don't understand." Yeah, I understand very well, because I have been in that position more times than I can count. And simply by the grace of God, G-O-D, my Savior, I was, look, I'm going to tell my story. What is Denny saying?
It's Pap.
Pap.
He said the only time I've been tied up was with the police.
That's beautiful.
Denny, don't get locked up no
That's
more.
beautiful. That's Pap. He's in beautiful Florida, Alabama. But let me just say this. So I'm with this young lady. I go to Phil. I told you the story. Go to San Francisco, and as a young guy, one of my closest friends, still my buddy. I'm going to put this on the record. He was a white guy, and I love him, love his mom. And so his mom calls me up, and she was like, "You're going to San Francisco?" And I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "You got to go see." I'm not going to say her name. She's no longer with us. You got to go see her daughter, who I knew as a young girl. Maybe she was 14.
Okay.
I probably was 27 at the time. And when her brother and I became friends, right? I was probably 23. She was probably 14. So I go, she's like, "You got to call her. She's out in San Francisco." At this point, she's probably 22.
I was gonna ask you, where's she at
23.
now?
I'm in my 30s. So I call her up, and she's like, "Oh my God, you're out here?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm staying at the West End, blah, blah, blah." She was like, "I live around the corner." So she was like, can we meet and have a drink? I'm like, well, I'm not a drinker. I'll probably have a glass of wine. So I meet her, and I have a glass of wine. We talk. She's drinking. And she was like, you know, when I was young, you used to come over to the house, I always had a crush on you. Beautiful young lady. Pretty, blonde hair, gorgeous, right? Graduated from Stanford, still living out there. Boom, boom. And I was like, for real? She was like, yeah. I was like, girl, you know, I'm like family. She's like, yeah, but I always had a crush on you. I'm like, okay. She's like, hey, why don't you come around and let me show you my place? You know, I live like a block away. Beautiful high rise overlooking San Francisco. We go over there. It's 10, 11 o'clock at night. Man, I'm like, oh, you got a nice place. Successful family, very successful family. So she's like, let me pour you another glass of wine. And I'm like, okay, I'm gauging
Are
how
you
far is
gauging
the
what's
hotel.
going on? Okay.
How far the hotel? Okay, the hotel right there. I was like, okay. So she pours me a glass of wine. She goes and changes clothes, and she comes out in this little pajama outfit. And I'm like, oh, this is not going down this road. And then she says, hey, you want one of these? And I'm like, I'm a goofball. I'm like, what is that? She's like, what's the name? Was it a pill they used to take? Ecstasy?
Ecstasy.
She's like, if you take this, you can have sex with me all night. First of all, I ain't having sex all night. I got somewhere to be tomorrow. Okay? And anybody can have sex all night. I ain't got nowhere to be tomorrow, right? And I was like, what? She's like, yeah, you take this weekend. First of all, I'm a grown-ass man. I'm not doing
Choices
that, right?
you make.
And the panic that came over me,
Yeah.
Phil,
Speak to the
when
people
she
now.
offered me this pill, I was like, whoa. I was like, no. I was like, you know what? I got a flight in the morning. Man, I got up out of it. I was nervous on the
have
elevator
a
down.
decision to
I got
be
to the
there
hotel.
or
I was like, oh,
not.
God. It was too late to call her brother. The next morning, I'm on my way to the airport. I called her brother. I was like, dude, I went over your sister's place last night, dog, and I'm talking to her brother. And, dude, she offered me a pill. He's like, yeah, man, she been going through some things. My mom went out there, spent a week with her. But I'm like, dude, y'all need to get her, man, and have her come back to Chicago. This is crazy. And he was like, yeah, man, I think my mom going to go get her, blah, blah, blah. I was like, you offered me a pill?
Is this what you were thinking when your face?
But
That's exactly what I was thinking, right? So Phil.
you know, a lot of people don't think like that. A lot of people may think it's an opportunity.
So he said, dude, call my mom and tell my mom what happened. So later on that day when I landed, I called his mom. I was like, hey, you know, I told her what happened. She was like, yeah, it's bad.
Wow.
We're going to try to get her back to Chicago. And I was like, whoa, right? And cute girl, right? Within 6 months, she had OD'd.
No.
Dead. And as a man, you have to really quickly evaluate the situation.
Come on.
And there's so many things that could have gone wrong that night.
Yeah.
If I wasn't thinking, let me just say something. You can't let him drive. You got to drive. Mr. D driving, your ass going to run into something. Okay? Mr. D is not a good driver. He doesn't make good decisions. You got to drive the car. And as a man, you have to constantly be on your toes. And you have to really be quick to evaluate the situation and what can be the outcome. I was frightened. I was afraid.
That's the feeling that people
The
should feel.
fear in me when I got back to the hotel and something told me, hey, you need to call her and let her know you got back to the hotel. So I called her. She answered the phone. And she was like, I didn't mean to offend you. I kept her on the phone for at least 30 minutes.
You was trying to fill her out?
No, I was just trying to make sure that if they got to pull the affidavit, I was at the hotel. I said hi to everybody in the lobby when I got back. Hey, how you doing? I'm here. You follow me? No, Phil, you understand what I'm saying?
I get you,
This man rule, right?
Yeah.
I want to make sure that I am back, and I talked to her on the phone. There's a record of the conversation. The hotel had cameras when I came back.
Yeah.
And everything is time stamped. I didn't want to leave there and she take a few pills and don't wake up the next morning, and I'm the guy, the last person there.
Yep.
Huh?
True.
Men have to do man shit.
They do.
The problem with men is so many men who don't control their libido. Men got to do men shit, man. And the more you get, the more focused on doing man shit you have to be. Let's look at some quotes, man. Let's see what the people are saying,
Let's go.
Phil.
All right. Here we go. Sounds like some serious daddy issues. All right.
They have daddies too sometimes.
Yeah, a lot of them got daddies.
Yeah, a lot of them got daddies.
So this is from Pam. Why these rich black men feel like the ice is colder with the white woman?
Come on,
like
Pam.
OJ with all these beautiful black intelligent women.
Hey, that ain't got nothing to do with it, right? You know, I think people should be able to love who they want to love.
And that's what Pam, yeah.
So I don't think that anybody's seeing it as the ice is colder.
No.
Okay? I think there's some elements. Look, I love women. Okay? White women, black women I love women. Women are beautiful.
I love men who love women, Don.
Absolutely, right? So
Not
I don't
many
want to
do.
say why black men date white women, okay? I think men, white men, black men should have the ability
To date whom?
to date whomever they want to date.
Yes.
But they also have the ability to think quick
Come on your feet, baby.
and fill out the situation, Phil.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yep.
And
I
stand
always
at the
say
end
that.
of the bed.
I always say that the
Stand
man
at
is
the end of the
ultimately
bed.
responsible for that.
If Sade is playing and somebody's tied up, that is not a good situation.
It's not a good scene. Just imagine some camera come out somewhere.
Sade playing and somebody tied up. Nope. I'm saying men got to be on their toes, man. It's hard because especially the more you get and the more attention you get, people don't understand
More money,
that.
more problems.
More money, more problems. So I'm just saying to this guy who's got a lot of money, what did it say?
True. Got to walk away sometimes.
Gotta walk away sometime. Think about this, dude. You in Vegas, man. Man, you could get any kind of prostitute trick you ever wanted to have. You ain't paying for the sex.
Lot
You're
cheaper than $10
paying
million.
for her to go away when you're done. You can buy anything you want in Las Vegas, in LA, in Chicago.
A lot cheaper than $50 million.
Right?
Man.
So I'm saying
Never know that's gonna be the cost.
It's important that a man shows restraint, man. I don't get it. I never understood it. I've seen so many guys lose it all.
Don, you really speaking right now.
Let me just say this. I remember a great blues singer who sang a song, right? And in this song, he talks about there's a little dog crossing the railroad track. And the little dog gets halfway right across the track, and a train come by and cut off his tail. Little blind dog. Train comes by. As soon as he cuts off his tail. Little blind dog turns around, and he's trying to feel for his tail. Another train come by and cut off his head. And the moral of that story, you lose your whole head trying to find a little piece of tail.
Come on now. Come on.
Huh?
Could have saved the rest of your body.
You lose your whole head trying to find a little piece of tail, Phil.
That's hilarious.
That's real talk, man.
Yeah.
So
You will.
when guys like this or put it all on the line for sexual gratification. That's Jimmy Johnson. Thank you so much, Glenn Grady. Jimmy Johnson. The name of the song is A Heap C. Thank you so
I gotta
much,
look
Glenn
that
Grady.
up.
I love you, man. Jimmy Johnson was a great blues singer. I don't know if Jimmy's still alive, but he was one of the greatest. And that's a Jimmy Johnson song.
I'm gonna look
But
that
the
up.
point is this, guys. I'm watching Shannon Sharpe, and I'm watching some people feel bad for him. So what I do, Phil, I call my friends in L.A. and in the industry, and it was amazing. Out of the 4 people I talked to today,
What they say?
not one person felt bad for him.
I don't,
One of them,
I don't think that's the sentiment.
one of them who is famous says, "Man, we used to see him out with the little white teenagers all the time."
Oh, what the hell?
I mean, I
Shannon?
don't think that's people's
And I
sentiment.
think that's
knowing
why
that
Monique went at him.
Yeah, knowing that he's actually participating and meeting out and reaching out and texting back. We all got to just see how this play out.
But think about it, right? You're 30, what, 1?
Me, 38.
38 years old. You're a grown-ass woman,
Grown.
right? Shannon Sharpe see you. You'd go on a date with Shannon Sharpe, wouldn't you? No, probably, you know the backstory. You probably would.
The thing is, you know what? I when celebrities come at me, I want to see if they good people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It still really matters to me if you're a decent person.
Right.
And if I find out that the other stuff he already have going on, he got too much going on. But I ain't gonna say I'm turning him away. Maybe I give him an opportunity and hear him. But once I heard him,
So today, another guy, when Shannon was accused of being gay, allegedly by somebody.
how long ago was this?
When was that, Phil? Last
Like
year?
2 years ago, maybe?
2 years ago, he was going to games with his his stylist.
Stylist.
Yeah, who is
I mean.
openly.
What?
Okay, watch this.
Okay, give it to me.
That's right after the audio tape came out. He was going to games with his stylist, who's openly like.
Yep, openly. Yep.
For real gay, like gay, right? And that's when the audio of him having sex came out, right? And so my concern is this. I got gay friends. I'm not going to call my gay friend like, dog, what you doing? Let's go sit on the front row at the Magic game.
And that's what I was thinking. I'm like,
And
it's
wear-
okay for
and
me.
wear
I
your
believe a
wig.
man can have. I believe a
Phil.
man can have a gay friend, but
A man can't have a gay friend.
You say they can't be on the front line together.
No, I got transphobia. I'm a transphobic individual, right? I'm not going nowhere with my friend. I said this on the show a few weeks ago. I'm going to be like, what you going to wear?
Oh, you just want to know how
a
they come
Yankee
out.
hat and yeah, you come out with this wig on, dog. No,
Also-
I'm not doing all that. Okay? So when the guy was accused of this, after continually being seen with this guy, all of a sudden, this clip comes out of allegedly him making love to somebody.
Michelle.
That was the name?
Yeah.
Somebody named Michelle.
Uh-huh.
And
Obama?
Sure.
I just think I'm going to say this in real life. We need to pray for this cat
Yeah.
because
Going through a lot.
something's wrong with him. Something's wrong with him. I don't care how much money he has, how much fame he has.
You know what they call it now? They call it sexual deviance.
They've been calling it that.
Well,
Yeah.
I will be honest. I didn't know that was. I know that people into their sex things and everything, but I learned that term recently. The sexual deviance of people, just after like that.
But when
that
you got
fulfilling.
money, though, Frankie, when you got that kind of money, the sexual deviance can come to the house, and it can be a grown-ass sexual
agree with
deviant
you.
that
I'm
can
with
sign
you.
a NDA, okay, that you can give
Let
them
me
their
tell you,
money
so
up
many
front.
women out there that's ready to give him some sexual deviance his age.
Yeah, for money,
Oh,
though,
yeah.
for good money. Because guess what? She ain't going to go loud on you because she don't want to mess up her other clientele. There are people, this is an industry.
You talking about the industry? I'm talking about the actual woman he could meet and settle down with his age.
Yeah, but again, this is what happens. We get ready to see the pile on. And I say this to guys all the time. I used to say it to the athletes that I've dealt with for years. You have to be careful
You do.
because there's more to this than
Speak
sexual
to 'em, Don.
deviancy, right? I like to refer to it as STDs, sexually transmitted demons.
Come on now.
And what people don't understand, the more people you lay with, and the more people who are engaged, this is a different level, guys, ladies. When you are out here and you want to be called names, look, people do what they do in their bedrooms. That's fine, right?
Yep. We respect that.
But when you want to engage, I don't understand how a 19-year-old is at this level in the game. Unless
Exactly.
there's something else, and this has been going on for a long time.
She has to be. That ain't new to the game.
Oh, that's gross. I just thought about that.
What?
What you just said.
Yes.
Ew.
At 19, and you're into BDSM. At 19.
So I want to say this. There was this guy had told me that this girl, she had added him to his to the close friends, right? He got added to her close friends. When he got in there, he went to the first story and she was having sex with a guy. And then he went to the second story, she was having sex with another guy. And he was like, she was just having sex with multiple guys. Why would she add me to this story? And he said to me, Frankie, I think she added me by mistake. And I say, well, you got to actually press buttons to get to close friends, just like you got to get live.
Right.
And he was like, well, I think if she added me, I was the only one. No, because if she mistakenly added you, then she had other people in there as well.
Absolutely.
But I'm saying a girl at her age doing that sexual deviance, he was like, oh, I don't think that's something she normally does. Yes, it is.
Absolutely.
That's something she normally does.
And I want to say to the lawyer, Mr. Busby, who's representing this young lady who's not well, I hope if you get a settlement for her, which I'm pretty sure you will,
she gets some help.
that she gets some counseling or some
Yeah.
help. Because this can be a money grab. Quite frankly, I'm pretty sure it is. But to say negative things about this young lady,
Yeah.
when I believe
She needs some help.
she's sick.
Yeah.
This is not behavior of a 19-year-old.
I just.
Okay? This is not the
I'm
behavior.
surprised when I see it.
I have a lot of nieces and nephews that are 19 and 20-year-old, 21, and this is not really. There may be a lot of sex going on college campuses. I'm telling you.
But you know what? The men are after them as well. They're getting their bodies done at these young ages.
But again, though, as a man, even if I dated at that level, there's a line you got to be.
You should have that rule within yourself.
Crossing.
Yep, the rule within yourself.
So, Mr. Sharpe, sir, I hear this is allegations, and you feel like you're being set up, or however you referred to it. But Mr. Sharpe, when you stood on the side of the bed and watched this petite child,
Don gonna paint that picture.
telling the truth, man, Phil. Mm-hmm. Watch this petite child, and yeah, she talked about her butt costing $50,000, whatever. Okay, $50,000. But when you stand as a 50-some-year-old man on the side of the bed and watch a child in restraints, I don't know, man. I think that's kind of, you know what I mean? I don't know, but people have kinks, and your kink is your kink.
You think that's something that a person should be held responsible for?
I think that this is
accountable.
This is not well engagement across the board. She really is not well. And this grown-ass black man who was very successful with millions of dollars, who saw it not robbery to handle this differently. PTL, man, pay the lady, put her on retainer, have her sign a contract, get an NDA.
And never do it again.
But 100 times? And then you're pushing for the video to be released because there's something on the video of you with a 19-year-old that's going to make America feel like you are not wrong? Bullshit, Shannon Sharpe.
He just want to prove consensual, so I don't know.
Bullshit. Yeah, it was consensual. I'm 100%
We all know
sure
that. We
it
know
was
that.
consensual. He did not rape this young lady. But what he did was he violated every man rule known to man.
And should be held accountable.
When you stood on the side of that bed and saw a naked, tied-up child.
You trying to win this girl case?
No, I ain't trying to win her case.
Oh.
But she's not well.
She ain't. She gonna
I had a smoking hot little white girl offer me some ecstasy. And I said, oh, hell no.
Yeah.
You follow me?
No.
Smoking hot. Knew her family all my life almost. No. No. I don't need that extra shit in my life. That's too much.
You know what? I'm trying to get it out of my head. You running back to that hotel room.
Man, I was scared, man. I was so frightened. Man, listen to me. I even went back to the bar
Sweating.
and sat there, had another glass of wine, and the bartender was like, oh, that was quick. I said, no, I just walked her home. He was like, great. I was like, what's your name? We started chatting. I sat there with that man for an hour.
Because you gotta put your face in the camera and say, I've been here.
I'm back. Hey, Phil, play some of what people are saying before we get out of here.
All right. This is lazy. He doesn't want you to ever grow away. All right. PJ is saying this is pedophilia. This one's long here. I'll read it too. Yeah, if it's like that, you gotta go pay and go route, and even then, you gotta do the James Brown photo at the beginning with both your smiling and in your draws.
Yes, absolutely.
Amber says this is going to be insane if it turns into another Harvey Weinstein. Ain't Shannon know? Like, what's done in Vegas stays in Vegas. You know, so. And then a bunch of emoji laughs.
All right, thank you so much again, everyone. Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Thank you. Tell people how they can follow you, ma'am.
You guys can find me on Instagram. It's going to be Frankie Italia _
Phil, why you ain't
Check
put
me
it
out,
up
y'all.
there, man?
Too late.
Man, come on, Phil. No, we're going to have time to do that so they can go back and watch this. Phil, can you do it real quick?
Yeah.
We got time. We're going to be over. But I just want people to think, I'm not attacking
No,
Shannon
you hit
Sharpe.
a lot of good points.
I'm not attacking Shannon Sharpe. But as a grown-ass 60-some-year-old man who's been in a lot of situations, who spent time in Los Angeles and Vegas and all points, okay?
They coming at you.
At a really high level in the entertainment and sports industry. I have seen it all. And I'm telling you right now, I have ran more than I have stayed.
Come on.
Because my life has flashed before my eyes on more occasions than not when I feel uncomfortable.
Me too.
With all kind of women, black and white. If the situation presents itself and you're not thinking with your head up top, then it's probably going to end badly. And Mr. Sharpe, I hope things work out for you, brother. But I hope you learn something serious from this situation.
Oh, he's learning right now.
The game is to be sold and not told.
Here, Frankie. There you go.
And you out here. That's how y'all follow her. That's how y'all follow her.
The underscore is at the end.
Oh,
but that's
do that again. We're going to just make Phil work.
Man, what the heck?
Because people might want to follow Frankie, man.
Yeah.
I'll fix it.
But the point is, guys, look, I'm not attacking this guy. I can tell you what this brother ain't. And I'm going to do this before I go out of here.
Which one?
I'm going to tell y'all what this brother ain't. Hold on.
Clever?
Hold on.
Smart?
No. Sharp. Okay? Let me just say this. This guy's a Hall of Famer. He's a Hall of Famer. Okay? Let me just say this. I made a note of this for myself.
Come on.
He's a Hall of Famer and a Super Bowl winner.
You finna run him out.
Hall of Famer, Super Bowl winner, great ball catcher, run up and down the field, stronger than the Holy Ghost, go fast, cut. Did everything right with a football.
Great speaker.
But I tell you what he's not. He's not Sharpe. He should be down at the courthouse right now, changing his name
To PTL.
to Shannon Washington.
I'm done with you.
Hey, y'all, Don Miller Show. Follow us on all platforms, The Don Miller Show. You can go back and watch the show. Tell your friends. Shannon is not Sharpe. Bye-bye, y'all.
Done.
Frankie Italia _
Frankie Italia _ y'all. Appreciate you.
See
Bye,
y'all
you
later.
guys.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Thanks for having me.